Walt Whitman said, "There is more treasure in books than in all the pirates' loot on Treasure Island." Victor Hugo said, "To learn to read is to light a fire. Every syllable that is spelled out is a spark." And today I am honored and privileged to be with Summer Boyd, librarian at East Hickman Public Library, who is certainly a spark in my life, and her abilities here and professionalism has touched many residents in Hickman County. Welcome, Summer, to our program.
Thank you for having me.
Today, Summer, I'm going to ask you questions for a librarian.
Okay.
Okay. How long have you been a librarian, and what made you want to become one?
I've been a librarian for 37 years. My daughter tells me it's 38, but I think it's more 37. And I acquired the job quasi by accident, but once I got into the job, it was a job that I thoroughly loved. And so I've stayed with it for this long because it is enduring to my heart.
How has the library integrated with today's technology?
I think it is step by step in touch with today's technology in most situations because a lot of people are still technologically ignorant, and in some situations I am too, but we try to stay in contact with what the latest implementations are, tablets, ebooks, MP3s, we're unfortunately AI is gaining ground in the library industry too. So we're walking lockstep with every situation and everything that's going on into the world these days.
Well, and especially like with Tennessee Reads, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, Tennessee Reads is a downloadable platform, and it's available to anyone who has a library card. And for us, we prefer for you to use the Hickman County Public Library because we want you to use our library system, of course, because we're very fond of ourselves, are fond of our organization anyway. And you just have to have a library card and download what you need to. But conversely, we also have TEL that has them as well, and that's any Tennessee residents can utilize it to read books, to do homework, to do resumes, to do job training. It's an all-inclusive program that's available to anyone who is a resident of Tennessee.
Oh, that is really awesome. And that leads to my next question is, how does the library interact with the community? I noticed that when I first came out to the door here, you had a box for being able to give canned goods. So what other ways do you interact with the community? What other programs are there here?
Oh my goodness, we have, we do community outreach, and outreach comes to us as well. We work with mental health, we work with the hospital, we work with the extension office, 4-H. We have a partnership with U.S. Jobs of America, and until very recently, when the gentleman who did Jobs of America retired, we did job fairs every month. We do interlibrary loan. We are partnerships with interlibrary loan. We do homegrown programming. In fact, in the spring, we're having a young lady who is not even 15 yet come in and do a arts and crafts program with us. We try to include everyone because the library is for the community. It is for everyone, and we want to make sure everyone is accommodated in our county and feels welcome.
And I noticed you do story time and you do Imagination Library.
We do Imagination Library and we do story time. We also have adult learning classes. The extension office comes in and does cooking classes. They do. They can do exercise classes. We have a young lady coming in on the 6th of December to do a first-time homeowners for women's class. We have a myriad of classes that come to us because, as I say, we're a learning institution.
Well, what do you enjoy most about being a librarian?
I love my patrons. I tell people all the time that my patrons are my family. And I feel like they're my family, especially those because I have been here so long, and I'm generations in at this point. I feel like I have library babies, and I have library babies from age 0 to age 40, and they're my babies, and they know they're my babies. And when they come in, they still give me hugs, they still give me high fives, they still tell me, "I love you, Miss Summer," and that fills my heart. It really does.
So how do you encourage teenagers to engage with the library?
We love our teenagers. We want them to volunteer. We want them to read. We go into the school system to try to coax them into it. And for teenagers, spending time in the library is a secular thing. This year we may have a house full that are here, and they're playing games, and they're reading books, they're sharing time together here in our library for no good reason, just because they can spend time at the library, and it's a safe space, and no one's going to interrupt their fun and games unless it gets dangerous. And other years, we won't have as many, but we still love our teenagers. We want them to come to visit us. We want them to give us input, because if you don't have young people's input, then you can't move them into adulthood, because they prepare you for the next set of adults that are coming into the world to read.
Now, as a librarian, you are surrounded by all kinds of genres of books. So, as you know, in your private time, if you ever have any spare time, what kind of books are you reading? What kind of things do you like?
I'm eclectic in nature. I love just about every genre of books. I love romance. I love mystery. I love sci-fi. I love just about every genre of book. I have a favorite author in it.
Good.
Even historical, you name it, I have a favorite author in it.
Well, and speaking of historical, if you had the chance to go back and visit any time period ever in the history of time periods, where would you go?
Oh, in the history of time period. During the Roman Empire, that would be a fun one. I mean, it may not be fun for everyone, but it would be interesting in any event.
So if you were on that Roman Empire, or any history, and you could spend time with any person, it past, present, who would you spend time with?
I like Eleanor Roosevelt, and we share the same birthday, but she was such a different dynamic of a person, and she was so intellectually bound, and she broke boundaries as well. When Marian Anderson couldn't sing at Madison Square Garden, she says, "You can sing here." And when the black flights she fought for black fighters to be able to have ranking in the military. All the myriad of things that she did to break the norms was pretty incredible, especially for a woman, because at that time women were to be seen and not heard.
That's right. If you were on a desert island, Summer, what 3 items would you take?
3 items I would take. I'd have to take a book, because even if I have to read it over and over again, I would have to have some way for either me to share music or do music there, because I love music, and I'd have to kind of find a way to get off the desert island.
Exactly. We talked about earlier that someone had said that they would take a book on how to build a boat. Exactly. Our last question is, I see that you have a book, and this book is very important to you because
It is.
And tell me about the book.
I'm reading today Arrows to the Sun by Gerald McDermott. And this is a Caldecott, which is renowned for its artistry more than its content. However, the content is really good, and I wanted to read it because this is the last day of Indigenous Month of November. And as you can see, it has beautiful artwork in it. Long ago, the Lord of the Sun sent a spark of life to the earth. It traveled down the rays of the sun through the heavens, and it came to a pueblo. There it entered the house of a young maiden. And this way, the boy came into the world of men. He lived and grew and played in the pueblo, but the other boys wouldn't join him in their games. "Where is your father?" they asked. "You have no father." They mocked him and chased him away. The boy and his mother were sad. "Mother," he said one day, "I must look for my father. No matter where he is, I must find him." So the boy left home. He traveled through the world of men, and he came to the corn planter. "Can you lead me to my father?" he asked. The corn planter said nothing, but continued to tend to his crops. The boy went to the pot maker. "Can you lead me to my father?" asked the boy. The pot maker said nothing and continued to make her clay pots. The boy went to the arrow maker, who was a wise man. "Can you lead me to my father?" The arrow maker didn't answer. But because he was wise, he saw that the boy had come from the sun, so he created a special arrow. The boy became the arrow. The arrow maker fitted the boy to his bow and drew it. The boy flew into the heavens. In this way, the boy traveled to the sun. When the boy saw the mighty Lord, he cried, "Father, it is I, your son." "Perhaps you are my son," the Lord replied. "Perhaps you're not. You must prove yourself. You must pass through 4 chambers of ceremony. The kiva of lions, the kiva of serpents, and the kiva of bees, and the kiva of lightning." The boy was not afraid. "Father," he said, "I will endure these trials." And there's the kiva of lion, the kiva of snakes, and I think this is the kiva of lightning. Certainly this one is. When the boy came from the kiva of lightning, he was transformed. He was filled with the power of the sun. The father and his son rejoiced. "Now you must return to earth, my son, and bring my spirit to the world of men." Once again, the boy became the arrow. When the arrow touched the earth, the boy emerged and went to the pueblo. The people celebrated his return in the dance of life. And that is Arrows to the Sun.
Wow, thank you for reading.
You're very welcome.
Summer, how can people find the East Hickman Public Library?
We are located on Highway 100, 5009 Highway 100 in Lyles, Tennessee. And if you're in the area, if you've coming from the Nashville area, you've gone too far if you've passed the whole oil change place. If you've made it to the dollar store coming from the west side, you've gone too far the other way. So we're pretty easy to find. We're marked, and please come and visit us. We love having, as I say, we love having good company.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you so much for coming to visit us.
Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you.